Okay, we're going to cover just a little bit about taking a bolt carrier group apart, cleaning it, putting it back together. So when I do a bolt carrier group, I need basically 6 things. I need oil, I need a cleaner, a swab, a punch, this is the Cat M4 tool, and a rag. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the punch and I'm going to remove the cotter pin, which is the firing pin retainer, and then take out the firing pin. Then all I need to do is rotate the cam so that the long side is parallel to the gas key, and that'll lift right out, and then I can pull the bolt out. Okay. The next thing that I'm going to do, there's a little pin, and this is not a roll pin, but it's just a regular pin that's holding the extractor. Now it's under a little bit of pressure, so you've got to actually push on it a little bit, and then you can push that guy right out. Okay, and that'll pull your extractor, or allow you to pull the extractor out. Okay, so now that the whole thing is taken apart, I'm going to take a little bit of a towel and I'm going to get to cleaning those parts. So a little bit of CLP on the towel, and I can just clean off the cam pin. I'm going to check this has got an O-ring and a buffer, so I'm going to check and make sure that's good. And if everything is okay, it's all good, all clean. Put that guy down. Then I'm going to take the Cat M4 tool and I'm going to basically use this part here to scrape any carbon that would be in the back of the housing for the bolt. And then this part here is so that I can take any carbon that is on the tail and clean that off just a little bit easier. Okay? Same thing, go back. A little bit of CLP. Cleans right up. Make sure you get everything clean. And then one thing you want to make sure is that this channel where the firing pin goes, that you actually get enough cleaner in there to blow out any brass that may have gotten in there, and I blow it from both sides. Because that's where the brass will get all fouled up and cause problems with extraction. It'll get underneath the extractor. So make sure all that guy is all clean. And now I can set that guy aside. I'm going to do the same thing, spray a little bit into the bore. Now is when I'm going to take a swab and I'm going to clean the inside. Now if I feel anything chunky in there, I'm going to try to figure out what's going on and get it cleaned a little bit better. But this is smooth, not a big deal. So I make sure I get all my surfaces cleaned on the inside. And get all the surfaces cleaned on the outside. So now we've got a shiny, clean bolt carrier group. Maybe it's got a little bit of CLP in it somewhere, that's fine, not that big of a deal. Gonna wipe off the firing pin. This is standard firing pin. Alright, so I've cleaned all my parts. I'm going to check my buffer and make sure that everything's okay. If I see a problem with the buffer, then I'm going to pull out. And what I use for the buffer spring when I replace them is the Colt, the black insert with the gold or the copper colored spring. I found that's the best, so that's what I'm going to replace it with if I see any tears or problems on that ejector, buffer, or donut. Okay, first I'm going to come back and I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the bolt, and I want to make sure that if I'm using standard gas rings that the 3 slots are not all together. So my 3 slots are well spaced out, so not a big deal. Okay, a little bit of Lucas Extreme. Basically I'm putting in all 3 spots. I'm going to put it along the mating surface and just wipe the whole guy down. Just make sure you get a nice good coating of it. And I'm going to do this before I assemble the bolt back itself. Okay. That way we make sure that we've got good lubrication on all of the parts. Just push that guy in so that it's about even. Okay, so that's all good. I'm oiled. Everything's lubed. Take this guy and I'm going to stick it back in. Now, you can put it in backwards, but you'll find that the cam pin won't go in if you do. So remember, the ejector wants to push the case out to the right side, as long as you got a right side eject, and the extractor is what pulls out. So that's basically how it goes in. Then all you do is visually line up the hole through the cam path so that it is lined up so you can drop this guy in. Little oil. I just coat this guy with oil. I'm going to drop him in, and then I'm going to turn it. I've already got some oil on my hands, so I'm going to go ahead and just put that on the firing pin. Drop that guy back in. Firing pin retainer. And we're back together. Okay? So I've already got the cam pin fairly well lubed, and I've already got the bolt fairly well lubed. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of oil on each of the 4 rails that would make contact in the receiver and cover those up a little bit, and a little bit on the tail. So just want to make sure those are nice and wet and lubed. And that bolt now is ready to go back into your rifle. Put another 1,000 rounds on it. I typically clean my carriers every 1,000 to 1,500 rounds. I try not to go more than 1,500, but I definitely want to do it. Don't want to do it too much because it really doesn't make a difference. If you're using good products, you can definitely get 1,000 rounds on a carrier. You may wipe it and grease it. If you're suppressed, probably going to go 500 rounds between cleanings on your carrier and those parts. Got any questions? Let us know.